Hey guys, Allison here. All right, we're still in quarantine, all right? Most people are home, not going to work, maybe working from home. Certainly the kids are home from school. And this is really a period of national challenge, all right? In some ways I see some good, and I've gotten some replies, from people that they're using this as a reset. They're using this as a time to really evaluate their lives and set some goals and everything. But for most, cabin fever is starting to set in. We're not used to being cooped up. We're not used to not having freedom. So let's be very mindful of those people who are really suffering through this time, either financially, emotionally, with anxiety, with fear, and especially those who are suffering with the virus itself. And we really need to be praying for people for recovery and for a cure. Hopefully this chloroquine is going to be the magic bullet that really can put a stop to this virus. But in the meantime, I want to give you some tips on how to deal with cabin fever and to kind of get through this time and use it to your advantage, all right? God never allows any kind of evil unless he intends to bring a greater good from it. So let's look at the book of Genesis. What was the first thing God did? When he created the world, he created order out of chaos. The earth was a formless void and darkness covered the abyss. And he separated the light from the dark, the day from the night. So we as human beings thrive on routine. All right, we need that. We have the rhythm of the day. We have our own circadian rhythm. We've got the rhythm of the seasons. And this has been thrown off for most of us now. So the first couple of days might be great. You get to work all day in your pajamas or hang out and watch TV and play games and stuff like that, but it wears on us pretty quickly. So the first suggestion I would do is to say, put some bones in your day. Put something on your calendar. Create some sort of a routine. Maybe you schedule in a daily mass that you're watching on TV, or time for the rosary, or whatever it is that you do or need to do during the day. Create some sort of a schedule for yourself. All right, for you ladies especially, most of you are used to getting up and getting dressed and doing your hair and makeup and going to work, and you might be hanging out in your jammies all day. You might want to once in a while just get dressed, put on makeup, and it might make you feel better, because after a while that can kind of start to wear on us, all right? Feelings follow actions. So sometimes we need to take those actions so we can start to feel better. Offer this up. This is not a penance that any of us chose, and yet God is allowing it for us. And that's, I think, where, we need to be obedient to what the authorities and the health authorities are telling us in terms of really staying away from one another, to not spread this, to flatten the curve. But ultimately, we're being obedient to God, all right? And just accepting this cross and offering it up in union with Jesus's cross for the salvation of the world. We've got a lot of problems out there, so this is an opportunity for all of us. We talked also about using this as a reset. This is a great time, since maybe you don't have commuting time and maybe you have a little bit more time to think. And I know some of you who have kids climbing the walls, I'm not talking to you. I know you probably have less time and this might be really frustrating. But for those of you who do, stop and really take this time to reevaluate your life, reevaluate the way you're living, because we are living kind of a crazy, fast-paced lifestyle, and people are under so much stress, and we've got all the health problems in response to that stress. So try to use this time well to find a way to kind of maybe reevaluate your life. And certainly, if you do have children at home, this is an opportunity to spend time with them. And I know, as difficult as it may be, there's tons of online resources, thank God, for entertaining your kids, doing things together, games that you can play. But I think more than anything, we need to choose our perspective on this. We can walk around bitter, we can be complaining, we can be questioning the approach to this, but ultimately it's not up to us. So I think if we can accept this in a spirit of humility and just pray that God is going to use this for something great, and believe that, that's going to give us a lot of consolation. The other thing is, you don't need to be watching the news 24/7. You may want to check in once in a while, but try to really limit that, especially if this starts to make you really anxious. If you're home and if you're doing everything that you're being told to do, you're limiting your risk, you're limiting the risk to others, and you don't need to be tuning in every day. So I would suggest, try to focus on the positives. Focus on good things, reading good books, reading scripture, praying the rosary. If you can, get out once a day, if you can, just to take a walk, get some sunshine, get some fresh air. Studies are indicating that's a really good thing. So try to keep it all in perspective. This will end, folks, and Easter is on the horizon. So as difficult as it is and as weird as this is, not going to Mass and perhaps not going to Mass for Easter, trust those Masses are being said by the priests. We can unite ourselves with those Masses and make spiritual communions, but we need to really, really trust that God has a plan in all of this and He is working it out behind the scenes, because God does a lot behind the scenes. And think about it. He doesn't do things the way we would. Think about God becoming a little baby in Bethlehem and then ultimately being crucified on the cross, but leaving His presence in a piece of bread. None of us would have thought of that, but God works in very strange ways, and He's working through this too. So have faith, have trust. Please step up the prayers. We need that the most right now as a country, as a culture, and this will end. So just make the best of it. All right, God bless you.